Hey everyone, it's Jenna. I want to thank you for tuning in tonight, and I want to say I miss youth, and I miss all of you so very much. I want to challenge you guys to take a moment and send this video to your friends, especially those in your oikos. Just because we can't meet in person doesn't mean we can't share the love of Jesus. So do it. Click that share button, copy the link, text it around. We hope you guys enjoy this new series.
Let's talk about dates. No, not those. Yeah, those. I mean, look how much fun they're having. Dates are great, right? Until they're not. Like, maybe he said, "Sup, bruh?" to your dad. Maybe she won't stay off her phone. Maybe he won't stop taking selfies. Maybe he said you remind him of someone special. His ex-girlfriend. Yeah, next. It can make you wish dates came with an escape button. But there's a way to make dating a better experience. We can have coffee without conflict. We can go to dinner without wanting to dash. We can save the date.
Have you ever been on a date that just went terribly wrong? I have a few contenders, but one in particular that stands out to me is summer of freshman year of college. I went out on a triple date with a group of my friends, and we had planned on going bowling a few miles away. So I called the bowling alley, and it turned out they were so full, we decided we would take the 30-minute drive to Visalia to try bowling at one of the alleys over there. Each of the couples were driving separately, and as soon as my date and I got to the bowling alley, we get a text from one of the other couples that says, "I don't like bowling." Dumbstruck, I was like, why didn't you say anything beforehand? But me trying to be respectful of the other couple's feelings, I suggested we try something else, maybe like roller skating. Turns out that wasn't the best suggestion either, and instead of going bowling or roller skating, we ended up going to Target and meeting for like 10 minutes before going all the way back home. Needless to say, I was pretty mad, and the date was an absolute failure. It was both embarrassing and incredibly awkward, and needless to say, I didn't end up going on a date with any of those couples ever again. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you went on a bad date one time and it seemed like everything went wrong. Maybe you've never even been on a date. Or maybe you've been on like 3 dates and they've all been really awesome, so good for you. In this series, we're talking about dating. And maybe you don't even use the words date or dating. Maybe that idea seems, well, outdated because there are actually a million ways to categorize a relationship. Maybe you're hanging out, maybe you're talking, maybe you're just texting, or maybe that person moved 2 states away and you still FaceTime every day. But to simplify things, we're going to use the term dating and define it this way. Being in a relationship, whatever that looks like, where the other person means more to you than just being a good friend. But even though dating is a thing, no matter how you define it, you may not really be interested in talking about it, and there may be a few reasons why. For instance, maybe you're in a situation that doesn't have a label. You're both fine with not defining the relationship. You don't need things to be exclusive. You're just having fun, hanging out, so why make things more serious than they need to be? Or maybe dating isn't even on your radar. Maybe you have so many things going on when it comes to school and your life that you can't even imagine starting a relationship right now. Maybe also you just can't seem to meet someone that you're interested in. You're open to the idea, but no one meets up to your standards. And unfortunately, maybe the person you're interested in just isn't interested in you. On top of all this, you may be thinking, awesome, I get to hear about dating from someone at the church who's probably going to tell me that I don't need to be dating right now, and at this age, it's pointless in trying to find someone to spend your life with, etc., etc. But the point of this series is to not discourage you from dating or to feel guilty for having a boyfriend or girlfriend. I mean, hey, I started dating when I was a freshman in high school. The point of this series is to help you learn how to date well. And I know that sounds kind of weird, getting dating advice when you didn't necessarily ask for it. But no matter where you fall on the dating spectrum, whether that be from solidly single to soulmate status, chances are good that you're going to start dating people at some point. And if you're in a relationship or you're going to be in a relationship one day, what we're talking about today can give you better odds at ending up with a good date. And you may be surprised to hear that the Bible actually has some pretty helpful things to say about dating. I mean, yes, it was written thousands of years ago, and dating is definitely very different now than it was then, but just stick with me for a few minutes because I think this could be really helpful. The book we're looking at today, Proverbs, is dedicated to wisdom, which simply means that it's about gaining knowledge and then applying it to your choices. Most of Proverbs was written by a man named Solomon, and early in Solomon's life, God gave him a supernatural level of wisdom to rule God's people. He was wise, but just because he knew better doesn't mean he always did better. Some things he had to learn the hard way. But whether Solomon learned from doing it right or getting it wrong, you could say Proverbs is the ultimate guide to making wise choices. And when it comes to dating, gaining and applying wisdom is the best way to save a not so great date. So let's start with some of Solomon's wisdom and look at Proverbs 24:27, which says, "Put your outdoor work in order and get your fields ready. After that, build your house." Like a lot of things in the Bible, even though this verse was directed at a specific audience about a specific thing, it contains universal wisdom that makes it relevant for all of us today. Solomon is talking about the best way to build a house, and his ideal to-do list goes as follows. Number 1, get your land ready for a house. Number 2, then build it. I don't know how much you guys know about building a house, but a big part of getting land ready for construction is making it level so you can lay a concrete foundation. Just like you can't put together any type of furniture by skipping steps or doing them out of order, you can't build a house that way either. You need to take the right steps in the right order. And the most critical part of building is having a foundation in place before you actually start building it. And life works the same way. Preparation is the foundation success is built on. So it sounds good, right? But here's the thing. Even though we know this is true, how often do we try to be successful without first having a foundation? Number 1, we know that we have a big test coming up, but we don't actually start studying until 10 minutes before we're supposed to take it. Maybe even you need to have a certain GPA to get into the college of your dreams, but you don't start taking your grades seriously until you failed like 3 or 4 classes. Maybe you know that you have a big recital coming up next week, but you've barely rehearsed for it. Or maybe even you know that you have tryouts coming up, but instead of practicing drills every day, you're stuck on your Xbox playing games. And look, what I'm trying to get at isn't about shaming people. We've all done it. It's human nature to look for the easy route. But life doesn't work that way, especially when it comes to dating. If we want a good result, and believe me, in dating, you want as much good as possible, we need to take the right steps in the right order. And dating is no different. So in fact, let's apply Solomon's Guide to Home Building to your dating life. So number 1, get yourself ready to date. And number 2, then start dating. It's easier said than done, right? What about thinking of it as instead of waiting to find the right person, work on becoming the right person? So in other words, when it comes to dating, becoming the right person is greater than finding the right person. If you want to save your date and you want your relationship to have the best chance at succeeding, start by building a good foundation, and that starts with you. And that doesn't always come naturally to us. It can be hard to let go of someone you may have felt you've invested a lot of time into and that you care about a lot.